DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, and you, Monkey, you're listening to the Potsy and Tino show. And that's not a bad thing, Monkey. That's a good thing. Bang!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network proudly brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Potsy and Tino Show. That's right, Rob Potsy Pochak, Tino Gray. Our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. We want to go ahead and thank Diamond Dallas Page with his DDPY little broadcast there. And give him his flowers. His flowers.
I'm looking at this theater. It's kind of cool.
Paragon.
It's kind of cool.
Paragon Theaters. So we're apologizing right now for I don't know what, like, this thing looks like it's off.
What?
Like, just where I don't know what I just did. Everything looks like it's off from where it normally is, to tell us how many people are actually in the room and everything else. Like, something's wrong. You see how, like, this much of the screen is off?
There's a screen. Full screen. What is it?
It's not letting me. Oh, there we go. But now it's okay. I think we're a little bit better now. I don't know what's going on. It's the Apple product, man.
Right. You don't know how to work. It wasn't that hard. You fixed it by mistake. It's smarter than you. It said, let me help this motherfucker out.
Wow, really? Yeah. I'm gonna punch you in the leg.
Wait a minute. Who's in the chat?
Somebody's in the chat. It's Michael Turner. He says, hi, guys.
What's up?
So, but Tino, we always start the show out with a little bit called What's Up With You? And this week was pretty eventful, right?
I don't know.
It was fucking Halloween, man.
Okay, I was like, I don't know.
What?
I didn't know Halloween was a whole week. One day. I'm messing with you.
I'm gonna bounce out of the screen and let Tino.
Oh damn.
I'm trying to get you more into the screen.
So not much happened last week, the kids at Nicole's school started dropping like flies. I'm like, oh shit. Then a couple of teachers got sick.
Wait,
so Nicole came.
What do you mean they started dropping like flies?
Sick.
Like they're killing? They're killing kids?
No, they're sick. They were sick and coming to school.
Oh.
And then the teachers started catching them. I'm like, the host monkeys got them. And then I call them the host monkeys, the kids. Host monkeys, because they're outbreak monkeys, that's what I call them. So Nicole came home Friday. She had a fever of like 100. You're drunk.
No, it's not that. It's anyway.
You just see the top of my head, but
yeah.
So
here we go. I'm trying.
So Nicole,
there, you better.
Homesick. Yeah, she had 100 degree temperature. She had a sore throat, and then Saturday she started getting worse. I'm like, oh fuck. So we did the home COVID test.
Should you even be here?
Can I finish the story?
Please.
Drunk. He's rude. So I gave her the home test. Test, and then it was negative. Sunday she started feeling a little better. Monday she went to the doctor. They did her all this. So she's tested negative for strep, flu, and COVID. Found out she had RSV.
What the fuck is RSV?
That respiratory thing that's going around.
What?
Respiratory infection.
There's a new one?
Well, Well, I mean, usually in kids, but yeah, RSV isn't new. It's been around. It's just picked up for some reason this year.
Never heard of it.
So she had RSV. The doctor told her to stay home. She went back to work today. And that meant she missed our neighborhood Halloween party. She was upset because our neighbor across the street, he did a Halloween party, and it was his daughter's 18th birthday, who we've known this kid since she was like in diapers. So Nicole's upset. She missed that. Sunday was the youth group costume party for Halloween. She missed that. And then we sent Matthew out trick-or-treating. You know, we dropped him off his little buddies. He went trick-or-treating. And then we were supposed to all go. She made a group appointment. She had to cancel hers to get our shots we got. So Tuesday, Matthew and I went and got our COVID booster. He already had his flu shot, so I got the COVID booster and the flu shot. So Nicole has to reschedule that. And that's about it. That's about the exciting part of this week.
Did you play anywhere?
No, I'm not playing anywhere till I'm off until next Saturday, and I go, not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday, the 15th, I go to Hickory. So that's about it.
Maybe I'll go with you.
You gonna go to Hickory?
I mean, you're getting a hotel room, right?
Oh yeah.
And I got nothing going on.
All right, we'll see.
I got nothing going on. Well, why not? Right?
All right.
I mean, you afraid I'll kick you out of your own hotel room?
No, you can get your own hotel room.
What?
I only get one with the queen bed. I'm not sitting in the bed with you.
Well, I asked them for 2 beds.
I don't think they're putting the bed in there. You will get your rollout. Get you one of the little cots.
Dude, hotels either come with like 2 twins or a queen.
Why I gotta make myself uncomfortable because you won't go?
Do you really think you'd be uncomfortable in a twin?
You see how big I am?
I do, but do you really think that you'd be that uncomfortable?
I'm like, okay, we'll see. We'll talk about it.
To hang out with,
of course, yes.
Yeah, I mean it'd be fun, right?
That'd be awesome.
And I'll tell you right now, you missed a lot of fun by not coming to Fayetteville Comic-Con. But anyway, so Michael says, "What's up, though?" Well, Michael said, "What's up?"
Oh.
So you didn't really have a lot going on.
Nah, not a lame, kind of a just tame sort of.
So I personally, I'm going to say I didn't really have a lot going on.
You did more. That's why we didn't do the show Tuesday.
Well, I didn't do the show Tuesday, and I'm getting ready to show why. Because of this. Because the show tonight is sponsored by Control Freak.
How does sponsor we get paid?
No, we're just being nice.
Oh, okay.
We're hoping that because we sit there and say the show is sponsored by Control Freak, written by
Cliffy B.
Cliff Blazinski.
This is Cliffy B.
Cliffy B. Buddy of mine, sing karaoke with him on Monday nights. Had his first book come out. It's his memoir, actually talking about his life growing up through video games.
Is this the dude? Is this the owner of
co-owner of Beer Garden?
Beer Garden, but also the video game. Who's that? Did you hang out with? They owned.
Yeah. Cliff Blazinski he's the guy that is also creating a comic book right now, and
that's not what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What video game was that he?
Gears of War?
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So, the reason why we didn't do the show on Tuesday night, like usual, and I even want to ask you, is it better for us to just move the show to Thursday night?
Why?
Well, I'm just asking you.
I'm looking at pictures.
He's not even paying attention to
Thursday.
my
That's
question.
why Thursday. Right. I'm just asking.
I don't know. I'm just asking you because, like, past couple weeks we've done it on like a Thursday night. Should we move the show to Thursday night? That way everybody knows that we're doing it on Thursday. We keep our audience. We keep our fans. we keep the chat moving. Michael, please keep asking questions. Or do we just stay to Tuesday?
It might be nice to break it up because Monday and Wednesday I have class. So usually it's like Monday night, I'm in my room till 8 or in the office till 8. Tuesday, and same with Wednesday. And then so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days in a row, I really don't see Nicole. So it might be nice little break.
So would you rather move to Thursday?
So we'll do Monday, I'll see her, then Wednesday, Thursday. That might be doable.
Folks, we may be moving the show to Thursday night just because it makes sense for everybody.
Yeah.
And the fuck else is going on with the Impact Wrestling?
I do watch that too.
Yeah, but I don't have access.
Oh, that's right. You don't have cable.
No, I have cable.
You have access. You should.
I don't have access. Dude, I literally don't even have ESPN on cable.
The fuck?
Yeah,
What do you have?
Well, I don't know, but they just sent me a bill for $132. And I'm going to tell you, I'm getting ready to just cancel down to like
Internet. Let's see.
Internet. $49.99.
So what do you watch on cable? Why do you have cable?
Well, the reason why I had cable, and so everybody knows.
If you do that, you won't be able to watch TNT. You won't be able to watch wrestling. AEW.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good point.
And
However, it's on Bleacher Report now.
What are you talking about?
Bleacher Report Live actually shows TNT. So they show
Wednesday night show and Friday night show.
They show Dynamite and Rampage.
How much you pay for it though?
I don't know. Like I'm wondering if I move to just internet, that I can say, hey, I still have internet through them, and that means that I get access to their
Who do you have?
Well, Spectrum. Garbage.
Well, Spectrum though, they have a
fucking garbage.
Spectrum app though, and I think that app you can watch TV shows. Because my mom has Spectrum, and the Spectrum app you can still watch.
Well, but if you cancel their TV, you don't get access to their TV.
But I thought if you have just internet.
No, they don't give you TV access anymore.
That's some bullshit.
But I'll tell you, at 130, so I'm in year 3 now because when I moved into this house almost 2 years ago, it was $80 a month, and it was internet and the 15 channels or whatever that I wanted, which included USA and TNT, which was great, and TBS, because that gave me, WWE and.
So why are they on that?
Well, because every year after that, they're like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
You can't renegotiate?
I could look at what they offer now, but chances are they don't offer anything that was that cheap. So I'm almost to the point now where I kind of want to just sit there and go, hey, what does YouTube TV cost? But here's why. You ready?
But I don't think the only reason I don't do that is because we DVR shit.
Well, but
I don't know.
But YouTube DVR gives you like unlimited access to DVR. And I'd be able to look it up on my computer, right? But here's the thing. I don't know what it costs for YouTube DVR. But if I suddenly can look at a YouTube movie or video or whatever and not have to worry about the fucking commercials.
I think they have that for YouTube.
Well, they have ad for YouTube. What I'm saying is if I signed up for YouTube TV,
yeah,
why would it not be ad free?
I think it would be ad free if you, but I think it might be the premium. You know what I mean?
I'm okay with that.
The only thing,
if it's less than $132 a month, now granted, $50 of that dollars I'm going to have to pay because I'm going to have to pay for internet, right? But $83 a month, if I can get it for less than that, and suddenly get my YouTube without commercials, why wouldn't I do it?
The only thing I'd worry about, but that's not for you, because I just have to make sure it's got the fucking Hallmark, because my wife would divorce me if she can't watch her fucking Christmas movie.
Yeah, Shane said the same shit.
So if I can get it that and I can still get Hallmark,
fucking
I'd do it.
I think Hallmark is now like one of the included channels. The thing though is, and if anybody else is on YouTube TV, let me know what you get with it, because like seriously, I'm like sitting here going like,
shut up while you talking. Go ahead. I'm curious.
Well, I also want to talk about some other stuff. I want to talk about like my friend Cliffy B.
Okay.
Who had this wonderful book come out this week. My copy is actually signed to me. Control Freak, which he's trying to make sure that everybody goes out and buys a copy. In North Carolina, it might be sold out at this point because a lot of people have been buying it. It's all about his life and going into video games. And it's pretty crazy because it definitely talks about how he's even had like moments where he was a serial cheater, where he cheated on his first wife and everything else. And just
$64 a month.
So I should switch to it. That's what you're saying.
But they still know if you're doing $64 a month, 64, so 65 plus the 50, you're still paying 100 something.
It's 110. It's not 130.
So $20.
It's worth saving.
Okay.
And if it doesn't mean that I have to sit there and look at those stupid things and say, do you want to get a free YouTube commercial? Like blah blah blah. That shit pisses me off. I have literally said no to YouTube every day.
Oh yeah, that pisses me off too. I hate that.
For 6 years.
I hate that.
And it knows that I said yes. It knows that I said I don't want it. And yet it still sits there and asks every fucking time. Right?
I might be getting YouTube TV. It ignores you. It doesn't care. I don't know. I don't see USA, and I don't see. Oh, there's TNT. Oh, there's TBS. Oh, there's USA.
So we might both be switching, is what you're saying.
Wow. What else did you do this week?
I didn't really do anything else. I'm going to go ahead and do something that I don't normally do here.
Uh-oh.
I want to talk about how I fucked up at work.
You fucked up? I know they've been looking. You said they know you, but what did you do?
So I'm not in trouble anymore. Okay, so I'm good. I like I am.
But now
I'm on the team. I'm not.
But you fucked up again. So is that?
Well, yes and no. And I don't know how it's gonna come across. Like I'm sure I'm gonna hear something. But I want to go ahead and tell the audience what happened.
Oh shit.
So yesterday, our management sat there and I'm not gonna say anything that screws anybody or gets anybody real besides me. He gets anybody in trouble. But let me put it this way. So the management, so not my bosses, but the bosses above them, sat there and actually in this case it was the boss of that boss. Sat there and messaged saying, "Hey, we got something from the client that says, is this one of our patients, and are we in trouble? Right? And this was 2 days ago. So this was November 2nd. Answers, no, they're not one of our patients. So in that situation, we're told, hey, send a basic email out to them to let them know how to take care of it. Okay. So I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't have access to the basic email. Like that's just like, it's not part, like someone needs to give me access to that, and I don't have access to it. So I asked my compadres, and they take care of it. No big deal. So I don't send an email or anything else because I'm like, we're done.
Right.
We're good. The next day, this is where I screwed up. The next day, their boss sits there and says, hey, we have a case where we need to look up the call. We need to look up this. We need to look. And I'm like,
You fucked up.
and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. Nobody else was taking it. Like, nobody on my team wanted to take it. And I'm like, I'm going to lunch. So I go to lunch, and I come back. Nobody's still taking it. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll take it. Like whatever, I'll take it. Well, after I say I'll take it, hey, we'll figure out where the call is. We'll figure out what you're asking, blah, blah, blah. I get another message from one of the managers that says, and again, none of this really matters because, like, nobody's going to be able to figure out, like, where it was, whatever. But anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I get a message that says, hey, did you ever figure out whether or not we called the patient? And I go, looking at the new question, and I'm like, well, based on the new question, we had this, and I send all the information for today's question, right? And then I get told in an email, I think this isn't the same situation. And he was right, because like I was answering the question for today, he was asking the question for yesterday.
Well, he wasn't clear.
The email subject should have. The problem is it was this weird whatever, and I was like, oops. Because I oopsed, like, so I replied really quickly with, oh my God, you're absolutely right. Here's the answer to your question, and got that one taken care of, no problem. The problem was that, like, I might have, well, I know that I sat there and I sent the wrong answer, but it's kind of like if you were a lawyer and you're a public defender, right? And they go, hey, you have these 6 cases today. And I went, oh, here's this case. And they're like, that's not that case. That's tomorrow's case. And I'm like, oh, fuck. That literally is what I did today. And it's all because I've been taking on more and more of these management requests at my job. And with other people not taking those requests, like, I literally didn't look at the subject of the email.
Now, When you say you take on management, that's not your job. So you're doing other people's jobs.
No. It is our job, but there's 6 of us.
And nobody's doing it but you.
And I literally took on the last 2, and I goofed them together rather than.
Oh, well, that's okay.
I mean, it's human error, right? But let's remember, I'm just out of trouble at my job. So now I'm worried that my next conversation with my boss is going to be like, hey, remember how you did this? Ugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, Michael Turner sits there and says, don't do Sudden Link. They suck too. Oh, so he's saying don't go with them for internet. Tino, you ready to talk about wrestling?
Yeah. Same how we did last Thursday. We got SmackDown from last week. We got Rampage, Raw from last night, NXT, and AEW.
Suddenly it sounds like a full week, doesn't it?
I was excited for a minute.
What do you really want to talk about?
SmackDown. Because you know what I want to talk about on SmackDown.
The first 30 minutes?
I was pissing my pants. That is my favorite part of any show. That's why I used to love about the Carol Burnett show. That's what I love about these shows. When they are trying so hard not to fucking break. Because you saw, I don't know how Jimmy did, because you can tell he was laughing because he kept doing this, and he tried, and he'd come down, and he rubbed his eye,
well, hold on.
and he went to look away, and Roman was like, no, come back this way. It was the whole segment, and it wasn't meant to be. Sammy threw them off.
So I'll tell you what. Let's start at the beginning.
All right. So
SmackDown.
Here we go.
The episode of SmackDown starts with the Brawling Brutes versus
the Usos.
No.
It was Sami Zayn and
Solo Sikoa.
That's right.
And before they went out for the match, Jimmy and Jay were sitting there like riling up them, and Sammy sat there and said, Jay, I want you to do what you did when I was in that match against Kofi. And he's like, oh, so now you know. Yeah, and they finally got to the point where it's like, oh, you know what I did in your, and he's like, I watched the video, I saw that you helped me. I need you to be that Jey Uso. Yes. I don't need you to be the Jey Uso that's gonna like cause a distraction.
Yes.
That's gonna cause me to be distracted in the match. So they go out there for the match, and it's the Brawling Brutes versus the Usos. Versus Solo and Sammy. So I'm sorry, it's Sammy Uso, and because we're gonna get to that. But and Solo Sikoa, and they do this thing, and you see where Sammy is just laying there, and he goes like this, and you see Butch, go up to the top rope, and he's and Jey Uso pulls him out of the ring, and it causes this whole stink, right? And then Solo comes up, pushes Butch off the top rope. They do the match. They get through the match, and the whole time, everybody in the Usos, Solo and Sammy are all arguing, except for actually,
Solo wasn't arguing.
Solo and Jimmy really aren't arguing.
It's Sammy and Jay.
It's Sammy and Jay. And when the match ends,
they're in the ring arguing, and Daddy comes out.
The music starts, and you see Sammy's face, and Sammy's like, "Oh fuck, what? We're so much in trouble. We're like that's That's literally the look on his face. He's like, oh God, we're in trouble. Like, why couldn't we just get through this match? And all of a sudden, ba-da-da, ba-da-da, dun, dun, ba-da-da, dun, dun, whatever it is, like the music. Roman comes down.
I should say Roman. You sound like ESPN. Ba-da-da, da-da-da. I'm like, what are you singing? But anyway.
It's kind of how the music goes. But anyway, Roman comes down to the ring. The wise man's with him.
As always.
They get in the ring. And they immediately have this moment where Roman sits there and he goes, I normally like to handle all the behind the screen stuff backstage and handle the stuff in the ring. And we fight in the ring. But some of the people here don't really feel like doing that. So let's go ahead and just like air it out in front of everybody. And with that, what I mean is Sami and Jay, right? And Roman just stands there with his back to them, which is amazing. Fucking amazing. It's really good TV, right? And Sami grabs the mic and he's like, Jay, I don't know why you don't like me.
Yeah.
Everybody else likes me. We used to like each other. But when I became part of the bloodline, you don't like me anymore. I don't know why you don't like me. Like, what is going on? Why don't you? And Jay finally sits there and just goes.
He tries to shake his hand, and Jay's like, you better get that hand out my face.
You better get that hand out my face. And he looks at him, and Jay goes,
You're not blood.
Ain't nobody here like you. Ain't nobody like you. Nobody like you. Get out. Like, why do you think that you are part of this? Nobody likes you. You're the only one that thinks you're funny. You're the only one that thinks you're part of this. Everybody else knows. And I'm the only one that's going to sit there and tell you. And Sami.
But Roman said.
Well, hold on. Sami sits there and goes, why are you yelling at me? I'm apologizing to you, saying that I understand why you're mad at me. I made the mistake. And Jay sits there and he's looking at him, and Sami goes, the tribal chief says that we need to get along. And Jay says to him, I don't give a damn what the tribe. And you literally see Roman Reigns go like this. He goes, and he does that. And when he does that, like, he looks at Jay. He's not looking at Sami. Sami's completely fine right now. And remember, when Sami was apologizing, Paul Heyman even walked up and patted him on the back. And he's like, it's okay. And Sami's like, thank you, Paul. You know, like just a real, like, not with the microphone up. He's like, thank you, Paul. You know, like, and then Paul backs off, right? And then you have this moment where Roman sits there and he goes, what was that? You don't give a damn?
But he didn't really say that much.
He didn't say it at all. He just looked at him. But the way that he was like, and then he slowly turned around. And as he got ready to say something, Sami was like, whoa. Roman, hold on. Jay's a hothead. Jay didn't mean what he said. Jay didn't mean any of that. And the whole time, Jay, if you look at him, Jay's like, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. And Roman is like, because if you remember, at this point, Sammy sits there and goes, Roman, the reason why Jay is acting like this, and the reason why Jay is like this, is because Jay's not being very
Oozy lately.
And the crowd fucking went nuts. Like, fucking nuts, dude. And then
that was it.
Roman grabbed the mic.
No, Roman's trying to not to laugh before he grabbed it.
Well, Roman actually did this. He was like, but Roman grabbed the mic. And he's like, is that what it is? Jay, are you just not feeling very oozy? And the crowd again, oozy. And it just like took off, right? And Roman couldn't keep it together. Jimmy Uso in the back corner, sitting there like crying, laughing at this point, like just red in the face, like laughing his ass off. Two guys that we could see on screen kept it together. You know who they were?
Solo didn't laugh.
We didn't see Solo. At this point, we didn't see Solo.
But Jay and Roman didn't. They laughed.
Who are the two that we didn't see laughing at this moment? Paul Heyman
and Sami
Zayn. And then it became like Roman sits there and he goes,
no, because Jay tried to turn away. He's like, no.
he Roman sits there and he goes, so Jay, is that what it is? And he goes to grab him, and Jay is laughing.
So he's trying to turn his back.
And he's trying to turn, and Roman's like, oh, no. You come back over here, because we got to deal with this. And Roman, who was not able to keep it together and was laughing, suddenly pulled it back together. Now, remember, Sami hasn't lost character at all. Sammy's sitting there, and Sammy's like, but Roman pulls Jay, and he's like, no, you're not going to turn around. You're gonna look at the screen. We're going to do this. And he's like, so is that what it is? You're just not being very oozy? So let me just put it this way. If you can't find your inner oozy, this is what I'm going to do. And what's he do, Tino?
He says, "I'm gonna take the honorary out."
And he goes like this.
He says, "I'm gonna take honorary. He's not gonna be honorary anymore." And Sami was like, and he goes, I'm just gonna call him.
He doesn't say that.
No, he said I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna name him Muso or something.
He says, we're gonna take that honorary off. And we just gonna make him a full-blown oos. And you just see the world fall out of Jey Uso. Like, he's like, bro. He's literally sitting there going, I'm James fucking Ellsworth right now, right? And then, but when he says, when Roman says that, and he's like, we're just gonna make him a full-blown oos.
Come on, man.
You just look at Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn's like, and he's just got this like full blown like oh my god, look at it. And then he goes, we just gonna call him Sami Uso. And Jay sits there and literally like either a ton of Legos or like fucking melting apart. He just falls apart, and Sami just has this huge shit-eating grin on his face. And it, dude, to me, I'm saying this right now to everybody, this was like the best wrestling segment I have seen in like 15 years. I can't think of another segment that I was like, that not only pulled me in, sucked me in, made me part of it, but then had me feel for everybody and still made me pissed off at Jey Uso. Like the entire thing sucked me in and just made me part of that. And fucking amazing.
That was good.
It was fucking amazing.
And you were out somewhere. I'm like, you watching this? And you're like, oh, I said, you gotta get home and where you can hear it and watch it.
And I wasn't able to. And I'm so glad that Hulu re-signed their deal with WWE, because otherwise I would have never seen it. And that's not true.
I sent you clips.
I ended up getting, like, YouTube ended up sending me something saying, hey, here's the whole 9-minute clip. And it was the end of the match where all of a sudden they're all sitting there pushing each other around.
Watch this again when we get off of here.
We can do it. We can do it.
Anyway.
But I've now watched it like 6 times. And I don't watch shit like that anymore.
Dude, that like I said, that made me pop. That had me on my couch laughing.
And it meant the world. Like you literally were watching it. Now, I want to point out to everybody watching that there's one major guy under contract with WWE that has not been seen since the beginning of this whole Uso Sammy thing. Kevin Owens. And recently, it's come out that the reason why he's not on TV,
because this was so hot,
is because they're waiting for this to cool down.
It's gonna be a while.
Dude, if they don't put Kevin Owens back on TV, we're gonna forget about him. Because this right here, this is gonna be so hot that by the time WrestleMania rolls around, if they have finally said Sammy's been kicked out of the bloodline, he better win the world championship, because that's where this is headed.
I thought it was him and Kevin going to win the tag team championship.
Well, that's originally what it was.
And they keep hitting that, because New Day's like, you're not going to beat our. I'm wondering if they're going to end it before they beat New Day's record.
But the whole thing is that it doesn't matter how much they think that's where it's going. If we keep cheering Sammy.
But they've already penciled in, I think, Cody to beat Roman for that.
Doesn't matter. Dude, you go with what's hot. You sit there and you go, Cody, do you mind waiting until SummerSlam? And Cody's going to be like, the Dream never won it, so yeah, I'll wait.
You think Sammy would be the one to beat Roman, though?
Right now? There is nobody hotter.
I know, but Roman, I'm saying...
There's nobody hotter.
They've not built him up. He's not going to win a square. It's got to be some kind of...
So here's how you do it.
Screwball job.
You want to know how you do it?
Okay.
Everybody listening, right? Here's how you do it. Michael Turner says, Kevin will have a match with Ray this week on SmackDown. I don't know about all that. But here's the deal. This is how you do it. You can't get The Rock. Cody could show up at Royal Rumble, right? Well, what if all of a sudden Sammy in the Royal Rumble, last 3 guys in the Royal Rumble are Sammy, Solo, and Jay. Sammy sits there, looks at Solo and sits there and goes, hey, you know I'm going to let Jay win. That way Roman wins the whatever. Sammy ends up winning the Royal Rumble. Okay?
How? You said he's going to let Jay win.
Says he's going to do it to Solo. But then, before you know it, like, he sits there, he tosses Jay out because Jay sits there and starts acting like the fool, like he has been. he tosses Jay out, and for the first couple weeks after, he sits there and he tells Roman, "Hey, I'm just gonna lay down at WrestleMania for you because that's what we do in the bloodline, whatever." And before you know it, come the next pay-per-view, something happens and Roman kicks him out.
Out of the bloodline?
Yeah.
Okay.
You kick him out, and you kick him out hard, and you kick him out fast, and suddenly, who's everybody behind?
Sammy.
So when it comes to WrestleMania, and he's like, I still want to do the right thing. I still want to help you, Roman. I still want to give it to you because you're still my tribal. And Roman's like, we kicked you out. Like, you're not part of it. Like, what are you? Finally, you get to WrestleMania, and again, Cody's not there. The Rock's not there. Big E's not there. The biggest name going into WrestleMania this year is Sami Zayn.
Okay.
So you have Sami sit there and finally sit there and realize that the bloodline has been dicking him around, pissing him off, doing all this stuff. You finally get to the point where it's like Sami sits there and he goes, well, now I just got to do this for me. And Kevin Owens says he'll be in his corner. And then before you know it, Sami Zayn finally wins the match. Like,
then Kevin's going to turn on him eventually.
Not necessarily, but yes, he normally would, whatever the case might be. The question still arises of, is he the champion of both? Is he a champion of one? What's the deal? But regardless of that, that's how you do it. And suddenly you're sitting there going, yeah, I could buy into that. Right?
Or he can Kevin helped him, he's like, here. You know, Triple H had both times he's for Shawn Michaels, they just
he wouldn't hand a title. Not anymore.
Or they could do the whole finger poke they do like DS did.
I don't think they do that, but I think that when Roman finally loses the championship, it's going to be like okay, I lost one. Or he loses the whole thing, and then Triple H comes out and says, hey, now the championship needs to be on both. And if you're not gonna be the guy to do it on both channels, we're gonna sit there and just split them up, and and that's more likely to happen, right? But I totally could see the whole Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan being the head guy. Sorry, I got that thing where my tattoo itches really bad, and they tell you not to scratch it, so you just slap it.
Shit out of it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And it feels so much better when you do. You want to slap it a couple times? Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. Oh, that's yeah. There you go. All right, I'm good. That was good. But I could totally see them doing that, where it's like, okay, Sammy's so hot, and the whole Sammy thing, the honorary Uso, apparently was only supposed to be like a 4-week thing. We've already been through 6 weeks.
Yes.
And now, since it started, Kevin Owens has been off TV. And Kevin Owens wrestled fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. No, I'm okay with it. Because when Kevin Owens finally shows back up, imagine that crowd reaction when it finally fucking happened.
Yeah.
The problem is that Kevin Owens, when you think about where those characters are, you would always think that Kevin Owens would be the world champion before Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Not right now, bro. Because I'm telling you, looking at it, seeing it, thinking about it, Sami Zayn.
But that makes sense to us. WWE don't always do it.
No. Sami Zayn is the most over character in all of professional wrestling right now. Dude, that crowd was chanting Sammy Uso.
We'll see.
Now, I also want to point out, Uso means family, right? So Jimmy and Jay being Usos means family. What's the younger brother's name?
Solo Sequoia.
What's his first name?
Solo.
Because he doesn't have a twin.
What?
Because he doesn't have a twin, his name is Solo.
You think that's why they named him Solo?
That's totally why they named him Solo.
That's fucked up.
I've recently read about this, and it's like, that's why they named him Solo. How awesome is that fucking name?
Okay.
How great is it?
That's funny.
It's amazing. Like, when you think about it, like the Usos, family.
Mm-hmm.
There's twins. Gonna call them family. Cool. We got a younger brother. What are we gonna call him? Solo. Why not? Fucking amazing, bro.
Wow.
But it makes so much sense when you think about it. You know, because it could have been Anawai, right? They could have just named him his last name. Anawai. Would have been fine. But Solo. Because he's all alone.
Nothing. They're going to do what I was hoping they're going to do with Ronda and Shane.
Well, let's actually talk about who Ronda's opponent was on Friday Night SmackDown.
Oh yeah, Emma's back, but she wasn't doing the dumb dancing.
Well, I was more worried that they weren't doing the evolution.
No, she came back more. So she was an Impact as Tennille Dashwood. So the outfit she wore and her mannerisms.
She was more Tennille.
She's more Tennille than Emma.
And let's be real. She gave Ronda Rousey the best match she's had since she's been back. Like, and we've seen her against Liv twice. We've seen her against Charlotte. We've seen her. This was her best outing. Like, Ronda looked good. And Tennille, who was trained by Lance Storm, gave her a run for her money. Did we think that she was going to win? No. But rumor is that after that match, Emma has now been signed to a contract.
And they mentioned Paige during that match. You notice that?
What's that now?
They mentioned Paige during that match.
They did. And I think it's okay to mention former champions and different names of people that they've actually faced and stuff.
Even if they're on the, I'm so surprised they did because she's on the other channel now.
But naming her as Paige is where it keeps it in WWE storytelling.
Yes. But you know as good as I do. But when Vince was there, they wouldn't have said Paige. There would have been no mention, even the WWE name. You know what I mean?
I don't know. So you're right in the fact that they definitely wouldn't have mentioned, in most cases, they would not have mentioned anybody that was popular. The thing about Paige, though, is that, like, with Emma, they came up together.
Yeah.
So mentioning her, even with that, may have still possibly happened, only because it would have been something that they'd have been, like, able to sit there and go, they came up at the same time, so we can pass it off.
Okay. All right.
But you're absolutely right 90% of the time because if you notice, at this point, Michael Cole is a real broadcaster where he's talking about where everybody is through their entire career and even talking about where they came from, where the storylines.
He's their Mike Tenay.
he's not even just like today. He's literally like a real sportscaster.
Like Manello.
Mauro Ranallo.
Yeah.
Yes, he's definitely like Mauro, but he's also more like fucking what's his name from fucking NBC, Bob Costas.
Okay.
He's more like that, where suddenly everything that they came from matters.
Yeah.
Whereas WWE with Vince, he didn't give a shit. Now there were some people that he would. Shinsuke Nakamura, Asuka. All of a sudden he's sitting there taking their histories and everything else. But interestingly enough, like a lot of people don't know this, Shinsuke Nakamura beat Brock Lesnar in Japan. Right?
Yeah.
But has Shinsuke Nakamura even been looked at as a competitive opponent for Brock Lesnar in the WWE?
No.
However, now that Triple H is in charge,
possible.
Dude, that is a dream WrestleMania match.
Shinsuke and Brock.
Fuck yeah.
But will they let Shinsuke go over?
The question is, would Brock think that that's good for business? Because here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. And I've told you this, and you and I have had plenty of conversations where we both agree that Brock Lesnar knows what is good for the industry. We talk about it, you and I talk about it all the time off air, that Brock Lesnar really is brilliant when it comes to booking wrestling.
They need to put him on the payroll. Creative.
Well, I wouldn't say that. But what I would say is that it's smart that he has play in his agreement. The what I mean though is that like him being able to sit there and go, hey, I don't see money between me and Austin Theory. And then Triple H comes back and goes, well, what if we were to do this? And it causes Austin Theory to look better. Then Brock sits there and goes, then I'm willing to work with that kid. Right?
Okay.
Because remember, Brock was like working with Sammy.
Dude.
And it was, hey, how about you and I go hunting in fucking Toronto and all this other weird shit? And there was never a match between them, but the whole time, Sammy's sitting there like, I don't want to mess with him.
Yeah.
You know, like, but now, like,
I think Brock would do business with Sammy because Sammy's hot now.
You're right. Brock will do business with anybody that's hot. And if all of a sudden Sammy becomes the number one contender winning the Royal Rumble, I could totally see the February pay-per-view, which is no longer Elimination Chamber. Totally fine with that too. I don't like these branded pay-per-views that force the stipulation. I'm okay with them not doing it. I would much rather than do something like, remember when they did Roadblock?
Yeah.
Where it was Dean Ambrose versus Triple H, and Dean Ambrose was the world champion, and he got past Triple H during that whole thing.
I wouldn't mind doing another one. Was it the Taboo Tuesday where they had the fans vote?
I don't think we'll ever see. We might. I don't know if we'll ever see that again. That was a Chris Jericho idea, by the way. I don't know if we'll ever see that on a Tuesday.
Not Tuesday, but something like that.
But I don't know if we'll ever see it just because they feel like they know who should go over.
Yeah.
However, nowadays, like that, you're absolutely right. That's like the perfect pay-per-view. Like if you're the very first pay-per-view after WrestleMania, that's when you do that.
Yep.
And the reason why is because like WrestleMania is supposed to be the end of the storylines, right? So you immediately go, all right, we're going to do Taboo Tuesday.
Or whatever, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll just say Taboo Tuesday right now. we're going to do Taboo Tuesday. All right. Well, then they sit there and go, what's the stipulation for the main event match? Who do you think's going to go over during this match? Like, letting the fans actually choose that immediately after WrestleMania means that the WWE could still get everything to exactly where they want by the next WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But it means that they give them what they want.
And I think that's key. I think that's important.
However, interestingly enough, for fans out there, WrestleMania Backlash this year,
I hate the name of that damn pay-per-view,
was the second biggest pay-per-view they ran all year.
The fuck?
It was.
Damn that.
Now, I don't know if that's... So that was before SummerSlam, when Triple H took over. But, interestingly enough, the pay-per-view before WrestleMania, and WrestleMania Backlash were the three biggest pay-per-views that they've ever had.
Yeah.
Now, remember, WrestleMania was 2 days.
Yeah.
And it will be again. But dude, that I totally agree with you. I think doing the very first pay-per-view after WrestleMania, and you know what would make it even better? The night after WrestleMania, you do the draft.
Okay.
You do the draft. So you move everybody around. And then the next pay-per-view, which you put not 3 weeks later, you actually make a month and a half later. That way you've already started putting people in situations and stuff. And then a month and a half after WrestleMania. So you call it WrestleMania Backlash. I don't give a fuck. But whatever that first pay-per-view is after WrestleMania, a month and a half later, after you've already drafted everybody else and everything else, you let the fans decide the winners? Could you imagine that?
That'd be fucking awesome. I wish they'd do it. You know they're listening, so let's give that a try. But it's almost 9:30. We're still on SmackDown. So
we are. Well, we haven't really talked about SmackDown, but Emma came back.
Yeah.
Great for her.
Oh, and then like I said, then they seem to be putting Rousey and
so talk about that.
I'm trying to remember who they jumped backstage.
They jumped somebody?
Yeah, because somebody came up to Ronda talking shit.
Was it Liv?
I don't know if it was Liv. I know that, and then Shayna kind of eased behind her, and then they knocked her down and they beat the shit out of her. It might have been Liv. Yeah.
Did you hear what Dana Brooks said?
Yeah, she wants the 24/7 title to be like the women's Intercontinental belt.
And you know what?
That's not a bad idea.
I'm okay with it.
That's not a bad idea.
I am okay with it, and I would even be okay if it were between the two programs. Hell, between the three programs. No, I'm okay with that. Because you're still trying to get ratings on NXT.
Well, they just released motherfuckers.
Did they?
They released 5 people, and one of them was Brody Hayworth, who was he was one of the big parts of Chase U. He's a blonde kid, the big blonde kid who used to carry the flag around. Yeah, they fucking fired his ass. And they replaced him with that fucking poker guy. I can't remember his name. He used to play poker.
The one that's been sitting in the audience with Chase U.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
And started telling them that was obviously this person doing.
So.
You know what though? Like, let's be real. NXT needs to be the proving ground.
Mm-hmm.
They've also started doing the NXT Level Up show.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, it's on WWE Network or on Peacock. They're 30-minute episodes. And so, like, at this point, the people... we didn't really talk about it. When Halloween Havoc happened, what did you think of it? We didn't talk about this, folks, so we're going to talk about it right now. 2 weeks ago?
Oh, but yeah,
We really didn't. We might have talked about like what we thought of like the main matches and stuff like that. My point that I'm saying is that NXT 2.0 started just over a year ago. It just became NXT again.
Yep.
Got rid of the 2.0. Great that it got rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
But Halloween Havoc was the first time that I watched NXT WWE wrestling and actually went, they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing exactly what they and it wasn't just we're building to something. It was built. They finally got those wrestlers to where we weren't sitting there going, I'm changing the channel.
Yeah.
We were sitting there going, I want to see what happens. And it was people that we didn't care about 6 months ago.
Yes.
And that's like, it's fucking amazing. Like, and I hate to say it, it really is fucking amazing. The Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez. I told you after that match got over, I was like, Cora Jade's my new favorite female wrestler. And you were like, why? And I was like, well, she's hot. And you were like, well, why? And I'm like, well, she's hot, but she did everything that was asked of her. Like, she nailed it. Like, she didn't win the match. She didn't have to. But she got over. And I was like, that's what you asked for.
Okay.
You know? But the whole NXT Halloween Havoc, I thought so I read Bleacher Report's review, and Bleacher Report basically gave it like a B- or a C+. And I was like, the fuck are these guys thinking? Every single match on that show delivered.
Yep.
The one match that they overachieved, I felt, was they gave the main event, which was a three-way dance between Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, and what's his name?
McDonough. JD McDonough.
JD McDonough. They gave an A+. So they gave it the best score they could possibly.
That was a good one, but I still say my match of the night was the Mandy Rose match. That was my match of the night.
Absolutely. And Mandy Rose has delivered. And we thought that Braun Breaker was going to lose.
Yes.
Because we thought they were going to move him up. And they didn't. So now I think he's there until WrestleMania.
Which makes sense.
And I assume he loses at NXT WrestleMania, whatever they call it.
Or it might bring him up as champion. You know what I mean? Asuka never got defeated. She got barred up.
They still took the belt away from her.
Yeah, but she wasn't defeated. You know what I'm saying? They might.
Well, he's already lost the belt to Dolph Ziggler and other shit. Yeah. Like, he's what, a 3-time?
Is it 3?
Is it 2 or 3?
It's 2, I think.
He's definitely lost it once because he lost it to Dolph and then he beat him again.
Yeah, because he won it from Ciampa.
Lost
it to Dolph.
Lost it to Dolph. Won it back from Dolph. So he's at least a 2. He might be a 3-time, and it's just because I didn't watch NXT. Whatever the case might be. So, anyways, all right. Want to talk about some other wrestling?
Yeah, because we've been on this.
We have, but it's been good.
Yeah,
it's been good talk. So I don't know. It's Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. I was kind of disappointed. And I don't understand the Johnny Gargano blew the whistle. That didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, that's stupid. That's why Dexter's after him.
I loved it and I hated it at the same time. And I loved it because I would love to see Johnny Gargano doing these stupid
wannabe.
These sequences where he's actually discussing, or faking like what he's dressed up as, and they're, dude, it was
that part was hysterical.
fucking hilarious
When he was Dexter, and then who was that? Was he Indy too?
He was all of them. He was all the characters, and it was like, and he even posted on Twitter afterwards that he would love to have his own Peacock special.
That shit was fun.
Where they did that shit, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Did you see too? I guess because WWE has signed with Hulu, they're going to give Montez and Bianca their own show, kind of like a Ms. and Mrs.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. Although Ms. and Mrs., I'll tell you what, I am 100% not a person that likes.
I think I've watched 2 episodes ever.
I have watched more episodes of Ms. and Mrs. than I have of any other reality TV show.
Really?
And it makes me laugh my ass off.
Really?
Every time I watch that shit. Because like his dad is part of it, and you know his dad's got that like weird haircut.
And her mom.
And her mom. Where
I saw one episode where they had her like in a dog kennel or something.
Well, there was one episode where her mom was sitting there posting like things on Instagram, and Dolph Ziggler was liking them. So suddenly it was like Dolph Ziggler and her were like an item and shit. Like it was fucking crazy, but it made me laugh.
Okay.
And I was blown away by it. But anyways, so Monday Night Raw. We had the Johnny Gargano. The thing that made that even better was the fact that Byron Saxton was like the straight guy.
Yeah.
Sitting there being like, so tell me about the time that they touched you. You know, like, because that's what it felt like, right?
We forgot something. Shit.
Go ahead.
Uncle Howdy.
Okay.
What'd you think of that? What do you think is Bray Wyatt? All of a sudden, this is the real Bray Wyatt, and he keeps getting interrupted.
I don't know.
And Uncle Howdy sounded like him, but I've been watching things.
It's totally the same guy.
They're saying it's Bo Dallas because when he left, he got the earrings, and they're saying that the Uncle Howdy is supposed to be Barry Windham. They said because it kind of looks like Barry Windham. Like, now it's not him, but it's based on Barry Windham.
So
I think it's Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy now.
Based on what they had and how he said it and everything, it's not Bo Dallas. It's
Bray.
Bray.
Well, now, but I'm wondering when he comes to TV if it's going to be Bo Dallas.
That's what's weird, and I don't know. And I really don't care.
So you're not into.
No, I'm not even saying that I'm not into it. It's kept me interested. It's got the crowd interested. The question is whether or not it's going to keep the crowd interested long term.
They need to get Bray in the ring, or they need to move it along with whatever they're doing.
What they really need to do is they need to figure out a way to put Bray versus the Demon Finn Balor.
But he's wrapped up with
sure.
What you call it now?
However,
I mean, he's going to the OC. Yeah.
It would easily be able to turn Bray versus that clique, the Judgment Day, be easy to do that, especially if you're sitting there saying, "Oh, Bray's the number 2 baby face or number 1 baby face or whatever," which seems to be the case based on everything that we've heard. The thing I don't like about it is that like I'm sitting there going, "Why is Bray a baby face? And who's Uncle Howdy? And why is it a big deal?" And when he finally does go against somebody, who the fuck is he going to go against?
Yeah.
If he's the number 2 babyface and you don't immediately put him up against Roman,
That might be where it's going. They might go against Bloodline.
but why? So that's my problem. Is that if you put him immediately against, and this is like the only thing they can do, you immediately put him towards the Bloodline. If he wins, he's champ, right? Who's he go against then?
I don't know.
If he loses, is he now the biggest babyface? And who's he go against?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they literally are backing themselves into a corner with it. Like I love the fact that with Braun Strowman, they're putting him against Omos, right? Because they're like the monster ball monsters versus a monster.
Yeah.
Okay. Omos loses. It doesn't really hurt him. It could.
He's still green as shit too.
And he is still green as shit. Could hurt him if the match really is trash.
I think Braun can probably carry him. I hope they don't shit the bed on that, but I think Braun can carry him.
I hope Braun carries him. But again, it's okay because the two of them as monsters should elevate each other.
Yeah.
If the match shits the bed, it is going to hurt both of them. But at least Braun could walk into another program with somebody else like Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar or whatever and be able to actually like redeem himself. Omos, I'm not sure he can. I mean, he becomes El Gigante, Giant Gonzalez.
No, what's her
like dude with fake abs.
Johnny, what's his name? Kali.
No, Kali's a Hall of Famer. Kali won the world title and had a good match against John Cena. So no matter what, Kali is in a league of his own.
Okay.
Should he be? No. And I agree with you. But he's still better than Omos is ever going to be unless Omos learns how to fucking wrestle.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right.
So there's that.
Raw. The women's tag team champions changed hands.
They did. Did that surprise? A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Especially going into, because what I was expecting was Bayley to win, and they're going to pull another. They're going to be Monday Night's Toxic Attraction. They're going to have
and all the belts.
Yep. Or since if they let Asuka and Bliss keep the belts and Belair, which I'm thinking that's the belt's going to switch. I think Bayley's going to win, and Asuka and Alexa are going to keep their tag belts.
Yep. It does kind of feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
However, let's talk about the real on this. There's a possibility that Crown Jewel gets canceled.
Oh yeah, because of the threat of war. I've only read a bit of it. It was Iran's threatening to invade or something Saudi.
And one of the places they're talking about actually like bombing
is where they're doing the show. So what happens? They booked this match. They paid Logan. I'm sure they paid, everybody. What did they do? And I'm sure Saudi has paid WWE already. So where do we go? Did they get the money back? Or did we postpone?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, you know me. I'm able to sit there and piece together every bit of, like, this is what they do, this is how they the storyline, blah blah blah. This is real life. This isn't fake. This isn't wrestling. This literally is Iran made bomb the shit out of them. I don't fucking know. If I were the WWE,
I wouldn't go.
I would immediately sit there and say, hey, Cardiff in the UK, can we use that stadium that we just did? The Clash of the Castle? Can we use that place? And I would fly everybody there. And I say, sorry, Saudi. We love the prince and we want to do everything we can for him. But we can't go there when Iran is literally talking about bombing you off the fucking map. Like that. You'd have to make that. And I don't know if you pay attention to the stock price or anything else, but WWE went up to $79 a share this week, and then today dropped 5%. So it's down to $73 a share. And I don't know if that has anything to do with where they're going or how much, but I have to think that if you're going to do the best thing for you and your company, you have a secondary option in mind.
Yes. And I'm surprised I would hope that they did have a backup plan.
I would think that the problem is that after Monday night, when they did Raw in like Virginia or whatever they did it, like Baltimore or wherever it was, Dallas or whatever, they sat there and they went, all right, we're gonna tape SmackDown like we always do, and we're gonna fly out Tuesday and we're gonna be in Saudi Arabia for the next week. And I think that that's the problem, is that they're there already and they're stuck. So it's, what do? We think we might get bombed. We may get, like, the only people that are smart are people like Sami Zayn, where they're like, I'm Syrian. I'm not going to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Like, and I hate to say it, but that's literally what's going on there. It's so weird, man. Like, I don't have a good answer. And you know me, like, I can book anything. But that I just, it's fucking crazy.
I would hope that they didn't go over there.
They went. They're there. SmackDown tomorrow night is not going to be live.
You think?
No, it's not going to be live. It's already taped. And I bet Sami Zayn has a match on it.
On SmackDown?
Yeah. Because they'll figure out a way to write him out of the story because he's not going to be in Saudi Arabia. Because he won't go there. They could offer him 10% of the gate.
He's not going to. Kevin Owens wouldn't go because Sammy wouldn't go.
Well, I think you're right. I think
I've not read that. That's what
yeah. Kevin said, I'm not going because my best friend's not going, but his best friend is Syrian and has a problem with Saudi Arabians. And I could only imagine what the reaction would be if Sami Zayn actually showed up in Saudi Arabia. They probably wouldn't let him out.
They killed him.
Like, regardless of if the prince knew what he was, he'd probably come out there, he'd cut a promo or whatever, and before you know it, he'd get arrested. And it'd be live on TV, and nobody would know about it, and it would all happen, and Sami Zayn would be a prisoner of war.
You don't think they get them? WWE would get them out.
Oh, they get him out, but like it'd be a month later, and it'd be like Sammy would now like be 60 pounds lighter, and I wish I was kidding, but they don't get along.
Yeah.
And Sammy's already said, I don't care how much money they pay me, I'm not going. You know, like, and I do love the fact that the WWE does not force their employees to go, no matter how much money comes in. However, people like Brock Lesnar come in and make like $12 million for one appearance, you know, like, and then they literally sit there and have a fucking feast. Because you saw the videos of him sitting next to The Undertaker, who he was wrestling, and he's sitting there eating right next to The Undertaker, talking blah, 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 eating a giant fucking steak or whatever. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I think that was Monday night.
That was Monday. Tuesday night we had NXT.
The only thing that aggravated me about NXT, and it's probably just me, are The Rock's daughter's teeth too big for her mouth? She's like this, and she can't, and she's trying to talk, and she's like this, and you don't understand what she's saying, and she's. Did you know? Or was it just me notice that? Because it bothered me. Why are you? I'm not trying to be funny or mean. I'm stating the fact. Am I the only one to notice that? Tell me you didn't notice that.
Well, that's what I was asking the crowd. Or else point on you. Because
you don't have the comments up, Dave. So yeah.
I don't have the comments up, but the comments. What the fuck?
There you go.
The last comment says Mandy is awesome.
Yeah. So, did you not notice it? Well, am I the only one who noticed it? I'm not trying to be. See, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm stating the facts. Well, I said if I talk to me, and it's like she can't talk past her teeth, and I'm like, what the fuck is your problem?
So I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Oh, we can watch this now. You can see her interviews. Like, we gotta watch that, and we gotta watch the SmackDown thing. There's two things we're gonna watch when we get off here.
So the SmackDown thing.
Yeah. So let's wrap because it's we've been on almost 2 hours now.
We have.
Yeah, because we started before 8:15.
We started before 8:30. Yeah, so we're about an hour and a half right now.
Which is where I like this. Where I like.
Yeah, I know. With The Rock's daughter. I think they're trying to ease her in as a fourth generation person while still putting her in a prominent spot.
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about this bitch's speech impediment. Don't let her talk.
Okay.
But you try not to laugh.
No,
you're not Lucy.
It's not even trying not to laugh. It's trying to hold like everything else together so that I can try to explain without getting canceled.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's not do that.
She looks like her dad. But she's a woman.
Don't know that.
But she's a woman.
Yeah.
So her facial structure and everything else right now, I think is affecting her. And now look at him. He's
so they have to break her jaw like they did China. And I'm not being funny. I'm not trying to be funny, but we know that China, when she first came,
was never good.
Was not feminine, but she wasn't feminine either. So she wasn't good on the mic. So she had that speech impediment too. I think her jaw was something. And once they once they broke it or did whatever they did, she was able to.
I will put it like this.
I'm not, and it sounds like I'm making fun. I'm not. I'm just.
I would say that give Ava
Ring.
Give her a couple weeks and see how she settles in.
She needs a couple weeks in Invisalign. I'm not.
I'm not. He said Invisalign, folks.
Don't repeat it.
You said it. Just say that shit on the air, man.
I'm not trying to get canceled.
Don't make me be the guy that sits there and
don't repeat it.
Don't just fucking say it. Just say it. Just say it. You're just afraid that, like, if we ever became something, that Dwayne Johnson would be like, "You're the guy."
I would say she's got an underbite and an overbite at the same time.
How is that possible?
She's like a pug.
I probably wouldn't have given her the red hair.
Nah. They could have given her the rock thing when he first came out, that peacock thing that he had.
But I do want to say,
I know what I'm talking about.
Pineapple hair.
Yeah.
So I will say that
I'm interested in seeing how she is in the ring.
Well,
because that's where.
Did you see what I posted about how, like, I would put her into the Bloodline store?
No, you're already laughing, so it must have been terrible.
It wasn't terrible.
What'd you say?
It would fucking work.
What did you say?
So, what is Jay saying about Sammy?
He's not family.
So, if Sammy were to marry Ava, he'd be family.
They have donkey babies, but
it's not real, motherfucker. But like, could you imagine if they built it up and then all of a sudden had her show up on SmackDown as Sammy's new girlfriend? And then Jay sits there and he's like, "You ain't family." And he's like, "But Ava." And then he drops on one knee, and at WrestleMania he married, or Royal Rumble or whatever. Like, dude, it's so good.
I don't think she's ready to come up. That'd be good, but
she's not.
No. Anyway, that was my question.
But there's my point. Yes. Is that, like, you always have that ability if you want to sit there and get Sammy really into the family.
Yeah.
You could. You know, like he could instantly be like, "Well, Jay, just so you know, I've started dating your cousin." And before you know it, it'd be like Roman would be like, "Sammy, I'm so proud of you for," you know, like, and
loophole.
Well, not even you found a loophole, but he'd be like,
Oops.
Be good to her.
That's very oosy.
Be very good to her, because if you're not,
yeah, Daddy's coming back.
And then all of a sudden, like she sits there and she proposes to him. That puts him in the bloodline, right? Like, now I have one last thing, and
we're talking about NXT. We still says one.
Well, we're just gonna talk about we're just gonna talk about, like, wrestling.
Okay.
Jey Uso's mad at Sammy for not being blood, right?
They could be blood brothers. You should cut their hands, and him and Jimmy.
And Jimmy.
Yeah, just cut their blood brothers. You know, when you were a kid, we're blood brothers. Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit that Paul Heyman isn't family.
But he is the head counsel, whatever he calls himself.
He's yeah. And he's known the family for 50 years or whatever, but
so he is family.
But he's not family. But nobody sits there and gives him shit.
Why?
It's a loophole. It's a problem in the story. We're sitting there saying that, and
the wise
the the TikTok video that you sent me, where it showed me every single member of the bloodline, and the last one is Sammy, and he's like,
I saw that. I'm like, Rob would get a kick out of this.
I bought the honorary Uso shirt.
Yep.
I believe it. I'm in. I saw that and I was like, I have to have that shirt. And now that Roman's sitting there saying, I'll take the honorary away, I'm like, fuck, I gotta buy another shirt.
Sammy Uso.
I'll buy a Sammy Uso shirt. I will do it.
That's awesome.
Dude, so Saturday I did a comic signing at
before you go to that, I finally saw the video a week or so ago. I forgot to tell you about you wrestling. I think my favorite part of that is when you were running, but you kind of hobbling, you hurt yourself. You're like limping to the ring.
What?
Yeah, you kind of like, and then you got in the ring. Then dude goes, is that Burl Ives? I'm like, oh shit.
He said what?
He said, is that Burl Ives? One of the announcers.
And the other guy was like, no, I think that's Potsy.
Oh god, yeah, it was funny.
Burl Ives?
You know, usually Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
No.
Not Rudolph, Frosty the Snowman. He's an old singer, and he's like a hairier dude with a beard.
No.
He called you Burl Ives. I'm like, that's fucked up.
I'm gonna punch you in the dick.
I didn't say it.
You just did twice. But no, I wasn't hobbling or anything. And it's a good thing it wasn't the day before.
And then you almost tripped getting in the ring. I was like, that motherfucker almost fell.
It wasn't that I almost tripped. I did catch my foot on it, and I even realized it watching the video. Thank you, everybody. This is why I didn't slide in.
I saw why you didn't slide. That shit was high as hell.
It's high as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm like that shit almost came up to my shoulders. But like the whole story, because Lisa Marie didn't have any idea what was going on and nobody informed her.
That was funny.
We let her also do the count and everything, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna ruin my entire moment. But it didn't, because like she's like, did you count? And I was like, I counted 3, and she's like, I counted, and I'm like, I counted 3, and I'm the one wearing the referee shirt, and she was like, okay, and then she popped out of the ring, and before you know it, like the whole thing was just going crazy. But yeah, it like the whole, like trying to get in the ring, like you have no idea until you do it. You know, like I probably should have practiced it 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even kidding. I really probably should have practiced it 2 or 3 times. Chris Barrett says Rob tore both of his quads. I did not tear any quads. However, I was worried about that. And I'm not kidding. Like just trying to get in the ring and everything up, because it's not at a normal like level or anything. Like everything, when I stepped up, that's why I ended up tripping a little bit. Like, but I still got in the ring, and when I dropped down for the 3 count, I think I nailed that part. But you're absolutely right. Like I've watched that video like 25 times now, and I'm like I totally like caught my leg and tried, and I was like, son of a bitch. It's the first time I ever did it.
Yeah.
You know, like
it was cool to watch. It was cool.
I'm
shooting shit.
And I've already said that going forward, when they come back in town and they're ready to do it again, like we'll do the same thing again, except this time I'll come in with my referee license. So that way, when he's like, you're not a real referee, I can go, well, hold on. And I pull out my referee license, and he's like, that shit doesn't mean, and he rips through it or whatever. You know, like, and you know, like just to make it more fun.
Yeah.
Because but absolutely, I can now legitimately talk about kayfabe. I can talk about heels. I can talk about baby faces. I'm allowed to talk about that stuff because I've been part of the industry now.
That's stretching it, but okay.
I was backstage developing the match. So I can talk about that stuff now.
Okay.
So, but yeah, anyways, so Dynamite last night.
Oh, fuck.
One last thing. Chris Jericho, the Ocho.
Yes. I was surprised to see Colt Cabana. After all the shit with CM Punk, they brought Colt Cabana.
What does that mean?
They pretty much fuck you, CM Punk. This is what I saw.
Well, interestingly enough, you don't like me talking about it, but busted open yesterday, Wednesday. Tony Khan does his Let's Talk About Dynamite.
Oh, okay.
And specifically brought up previous Ring of Honor champions that could face Chris Jericho. And one of the names that got brought up by him, not by the hosts, was CM Punk. And then Colt Cabana showed up in the match. So my question to you is, was this a way of them sitting there saying CM Punk is never coming back to AEW? Or was it a way of making it so when CM Punk does show back up in AEW, it is a monster surprise, thinking that he would never work with Colt Cabana again?
He's not coming back. I
agree.
Especially since they fired his best friend. Remember, he said they fired him. I'm not sticking around. I really don't think.
I didn't hear any of the "I'm not sticking around if they fire him."
Oh, he did say that after that scrum, and they were talking about firing the Ace, whatever his fucking name was. CM Punk was livid. Said, "You fire him, I'm done."
Yeah, my true feelings behind this are that
he's not coming back.
CM Punk
he caused too much problems because they're barely going to bring back Omega and the Young Bucks. If they bring them back,
they're bringing them back
because they're EVPs, but they're not bringing Punk back.
I'm worried.
He's talking about going to possibly WWE. I don't think they're going to take him.
I don't think he's talking about going to WWE. I think everybody else is talking about him going to WWE.
Triple H is like, never say never. I'm like, you're not hiring him.
Triple H said never say never, but he was like, I don't like the guy.
Yeah. So no, CM Punk's not coming back to AEW. I think that was a fuck you to CM Punk.
I think there's a better chance of AJ Lee coming back to WWE. Especially after Corey Jade's Halloween costume. Where she said Mama should be proud. And she was dressed up as AJ Lee. And AJ Lee posted on Twitter.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what she was dressed up as.
Really?
I wasn't really paying it.
Dude, AJ Lee sat there and said, Mama's very proud. And I also need a DNA test. And it was amazing.
I have to go back and watch it. I really wouldn't.
Either way.
Anyway.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Let's wrap it.
Let me
watch these two clips, so I got to drive home.
Let me pull up the music.
What's that say?
What's that?
Timer.
It says we're at 140.
Who's that? Chris Barrett.
Chris Barrett says Jericho called Punk a cancer to his face, so I doubt Punk will be back. Oh yeah, interestingly enough,
Jarrett.
Okay. Jericho, first of all, actually apparently is one of the few people that said he will not work with CM Punk if he comes back. But go ahead, Tino. Talk about the guy who randomly showed up after being let go by WWE.
Shows up as the last outlaw. Jeff Jarrett showed up last night on AEW, which I'm waiting to see what they're going to do with that.
So apparently he's now like vice president of like
something or another,
events or whatever in AEW, which a lot of people are not happy with. And Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett's career leads me to think that he's not exactly the best person to have in a situation where you're trying to build a new age wrestling company.
Yep.
However, with all the old school names and everything, he probably is the type of person that could maintain sanity between both sides.
The older and the younger guys.
I would think so, especially since when they did Ric Flair's last match, he was Jay Lethal's partner, right? So I tend to think that that's something that could be beneficial. However, I've personally never been a fan of Jeff Jarrett. You've never been a fan of Jeff Jarrett. Like from his fucking 17 fucking straps
King of the Mountain.
to King of the Mountain. Well, even before King of the Mountain, when he wanted to be one of the horsemen.
Slapnuts.
But Slapnuts was about when he actually started getting over, because he fucking shaved his head. He fucking looked like a new age wrestler. But now all of a sudden he's got the same fucking haircut he used to have. And I'm like, he literally looks like he's just got like fucking like a mullet of fucking, ball hair.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways.
I just want to mention that. All right. So, folks, you can catch him. All these fucking handles. You can catch him on Twitter at Podcheck. I'm PootyFan91. You can check out the show, Potsy and Tino. Facebook, we're Potsy and Tino Show. On the TikTok, here we go. Rob Podcheck. No, Rob Potsy Podcheck.
Yes. Rob Potsy Podcheck on TikTok.
And aren't you on? No, it's Instagram.
One of my Instagrams, Rob Potsy Podcheck.
Then you got Junior High Horrors. Then you got Rob Podcheck. Then you have
YouTube is also Rob Podcheck.
Yeah. Then you have Immortal the comic. He said, I'm on Insta, I'm FC Tino. Again, Rob Podcheck on YouTube. Also, Potsy Fan Network, where you can find this show each and every week. We want to say thank you to, I'm so tired, Adam's House Cats for the wrestling song. That's our theme song, 99 cents 99 on iTunes. Hit subscribe, give us thumbs up, buy our shit. What else you got?
We're thinking about moving the show to Thursday nights.
Possibly, yeah.
Because it works better for Tino, because he could actually be over here more often.
Mm.
At the same time, we want to make sure that our audience would be thinking that that's beneficial. Yeah. So why don't you let us know? You know how to reach me on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. You know how to reach him, whatever. Let us know where you think that the show would be best suited. I'm thinking Thursday night actually would make sense, although I do like all 3 hours of Law and Order.
We'll figure it out, because I got to talk,
You got to talk to the old lady.
Yeah. No, don't call her old lady. She'll kill you.
She's not an old lady.
Talk to the boss. That's what I call the boss.
She's still hot. So
I'll stab you in the dick with it. Right in the hole. Dick hole with this damn
film. Why don't you put that down?
So to talk about my wife. How about that? I'll stab you in the penis hole.
Get that in. Come on!
So we gotta do that for our Thanksgiving dish.
You can figure out a way to actually get like a turkey. Yeah. Holly Blanchard. Woo!